Member engagement isn't just inviting people to members' meetings. It's not just about sending them a ballot paper. And I think it's about working on their culture, making sure that the culture of engagement runs all the way through. It's not just about members, it's about staff, it's about customers. And actually, how do you keep those messages clear and consistent, and actually that provide something that members want? And I think that's been one of the really interesting things that's come out of some of the contributors over the last day or so.
Member engagement is the holy grail for all cooperative societies, and I don't know that anybody over the years that I've been involved have actually solved it, but we are working really very hard to try and find a way to do so, to do more. And one of the problems we have, of course, is the world is changing around us. In the old days, it was about meetings, it was about coming to a village hall and talking to directors. But now with the world of the internet, we have got to find a different way. And a lot of work's been done on it. I don't have the solution at the moment. I'm using things like Skype and putting meetings online. But even using the word meeting can be negative to the new generation. So we really have got to find a way in this new world of ours of engaging better with members.
I'm convinced that young people just need to be given the power and the vision and the inspiration to think about forming their own solutions to the work market, because there aren't jobs out there. Jobs are being cut left, right and centre, and people are feeling that the kind of jobs they're going for, so internships that are not being paid, or very low wage jobs that have no basic meaning. So why not challenge that culture and say, well, why there are plenty of things gaps in the market, ideas that you might have and that might turn into a trading idea, and there are organisations, existing cooperatives, that can support you in doing that. So it's matching, enthusing young people, saying that so they don't feel helpless about the job market, and saying, well, we'll give you a helping hand towards that end.
So the presentation given today had the title of Bridging the Gap. It set out a thought, a problem. It says there's a gap between society at large and the services that get delivered, and people aren't connected fully to their energy supply or their money or the food that gets produced. And so I was arguing, so look, is there a role to be had if you can put cooperatives and mutuals in that gap and connect people back to their food, back to their energy, and back to their money? And if you can do that, if you can transfer the rights and responsibilities for these activities over to communities, do you get something extra that a cooperative can add? Can you find a common wealth in doing that? And that seems to be the case. You can embed that wealth back in communities, but you can also do something really quite fantastic, which is you can deliver some behaviour change. People start, because they're practising what they, the acquisition of those houses, or that local food, or they're managing their own waste, because they're practising that on a day-by-day basis, then inside they start to understand the issues. And if they understand the issues inside, then they will change their behaviour. Their behaviour will become more sustainable. And that means that we don't have to run marketing campaigns, or we don't have to lobby, we don't have to seek for changes in legislation. What we've got is a movement of people who are saying, great, I now understand where all these things come from, yeah, and I have a certain degree of control over it. I've acquired the rights, so therefore I will behave more responsibly. Well, the conversation, the proposition we were talking about is what happens if you do allow communities this voice. Yeah? I think we at Cymharu are actually quite challenged in the sense that we're not a cooperative. Yeah? We have a number of cooperative values. Bits of what we do are genuine. We have one workers' cooperative, for example. But I think the question goes the other way around, in the sense that what could Cymharu do better if it did more coherent and more comprehensive member engagement, if we actually gave people a genuine stake. Yeah? And I think that's two ways, in the sense that we should do more as Cymharu, but I think the cooperative movement as a whole perhaps could learn by saying, well, if you give people things to do, people will do things and they will understand, and if they understand, then half the battle is won.
I think what cooperative movement can learn from our rowing club example, particularly, is making sure you've got outrageous ambition. Secondly, is build engagement into your culture. It's not a project, it's not an event, it's not a survey, it's how you operate. And thirdly, then it's the consistency of the leadership. It's to support that. making sure it's endemic in how they operate. Again, not so a task list to be ticked off. It's actually how leaders actually engage and work with their organisations.